Hey everyone, I thought I'd just do a video today about breeding blue bolt shrimp. This original colony you see actually started as 10 shrimp about like 5 months ago. I got them for my birthday in December. Actually, January. I bought them on my birthday, but I only received them in like early January. So I started with, I don't know, I think it was 15 shrimp, and now I have hundreds. So yeah, I'm just going to be talking about what I've done to try and promote breeding, and hopefully this helps you guys. So yeah. So what I've actually found is they're basically the same as cherry shrimp. I've had a lot of cherry shrimp in the past, and they're very, I mean, they breed just as prolifically, just as quickly, they grow just as fast, maybe a bit slower. Um, but they're very close to cherry shrimp, honestly. You give them the right conditions and they will breed like rabbits. They'll breed like crazy. I've even sold some out of here. I've sold about like 30 of them out of here already, and I still have this many. It's only been 5 months. And I actually didn't realize how fast they'd breed and grow. And so yeah, so far I've been having a lot of luck with growing these out and breeding them. So what I've basically found is that the main like thing that you need is stability. So I don't know. I always talk about stability with salt water, and it's just like it's basically the same for this. It's like, I mean, all you need is the stable tank. This tank, believe it or not, I've actually not done a single water change in this tank ever in its entire lifetime, which is like 8-10 months. I haven't done a single water change. All I do is I top it off with RO water. That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't do anything else. I feed the shrimp. I threw a bunch of plants in here. I let the plants grow wild, and I top it off. I have no filter, just an air stone, just a heater, and that's pretty much it. So this video is actually not just going to be about like the care of the shrimp. I think I've done another video about the care of the shrimp, and it's pretty easy to find the care requirements. So this video is basically going to be for like how to take care of the baby shrimp and improve their survival rate, and how basically the shrimp breed and information about that. Not really about how to take care of the shrimp. So once you got all your parameters in check, honestly, breeding should happen, and it just should happen on its own. Like, you shouldn't have to really do anything. But if you're not getting breeding, there could be certain things. So sometimes I find that the shrimp actually need a lot of protein. So to produce the eggs, the females need a lot of protein. So maybe if you're not having any breeding going on, I would say maybe feed some flake food. So I just feed like normal like fish flake food that has a lot of protein. So I just throw some of that in, just a little bit, like very small amount, and the shrimp will go find it and munch on it, and that'll give them the protein they need to produce the eggs. So once they produce the eggs, it goes into the saddle, which is located behind their head. So it's like, and that's where they store the eggs until their next molt. So when they molt, they bring the eggs down into their like abdomen area. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's like behind their legs. You can kind of see it on a lot of the shrimp here. Some of the larger females, they have like the eggs, and they're just kind of fanning them. So once they bring their eggs into that abdomen area, they basically release a pheromone into the tank, and that pheromone is basically letting all the other shrimp know that they are ready. The female is ready to have her eggs be fertilized. So what that does is it basically makes all the shrimp like fly around the tank. So all the males will notice this pheromone being active, and just like completely swim around the tank looking for the female to fertilize the eggs. So once the eggs are fertilized, the females just hold the eggs for around a month or so, and after that the shrimp are born live. So that actually makes it a lot easier. Like, you personally don't have to do anything. You just have to provide an environment that's calm enough, safe enough, adequate enough for the shrimp to feel comfortable enough to breed, which is not really hard to do. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's not difficult. And yeah, so after the shrimp are born, they're very small. They're very fragile. They're called peewee shrimp. They're like really tiny. I mean, they're like a couple millimeters big. They're very small. They eat very small food. So they actually are pretty reclusive. They're scared. They hide a lot. So to promote their growth, you should probably provide a lot of cover. Like here, you can, like in this tank, I have a lot of moss and plants and different things that are just located around the tank that provide a lot of surface area for things to grow that they eat, and space for them to hide. So that's the main thing. I mean, they'll do fine. If you want to even improve your success rate with the shrimp surviving even more, I would feed this food called Bacter AE. I've seen a lot of success with it. I have a lot of good things to say about it, honestly. It's a very small, like, particulate food. It's a powder food. And what I basically do is I just mix it up and pour it in the tank, and it just spreads over all the surfaces. It just coats all the different surfaces of the tank, and the shrimp just go around and find it. So if you, this food works great for the baby shrimp, because it spreads everywhere. So the adults can't just jump on it. Like you can see here, I just recently fed some different food. It's called Shrimp King Complete. It's a pelleted food that I fed about like an hour ago, and all the shrimp are just covering the food, and the babies won't even be able to get any of the food. So to make it easier for them, if you feed some powdered food like Bacter AE, which I just recommend, it works great. It just spreads everywhere, and the shrimp can just take their time, you know, feed on it, no rush. Just it works great for feeding them. So the peewees kind of grow larger and larger. So after every molt, they get a bit bigger. And after every molt, they become a bit hardier. So the bigger they get, the hardier they are. Like the adults are a lot hardier than the little babies. So I really stress that keeping the tank's parameters stable and not making any big changes. Don't even water change. If you see baby shrimp in the tank, just don't do a water change. Just skip the water change. Unless you really are having nutrient problems, which if you have shrimp, you really shouldn't have any problems. Another thing with breeding them is they're very small, so they're very good fish food. So if you have fish in there, they will get eaten. Like it's kind of unavoidable, which is why I don't really have any big fish in here. I just have some little celestial pearl danios that I've just been breeding, so they're very small, just fry. They aren't even full grown. I just pulled the eggs out of the other tank and put the fish in this tank, and they're very small. They're like almost the same size as the baby blue bloats, so they can't even eat them. So yeah, so this basically goes for all Caridina shrimp. I mean, they're all pretty similar. They're all pretty straightforward, and they breed very fast. Like honestly, when I was first getting into like breeding them, I thought it was going to be a lot harder than cherry shrimp. I've kept a lot of cherry shrimp in the past, and I thought they would be harder to take care of than cherry shrimp, but I've actually found that to be false, and they're basically the same, honestly. I mean, they breed very quickly. They breed very easily. It's very rewarding. It's not very difficult, and yeah. So another thing to note is don't be discouraged if the females drop the eggs. I forgot to say this earlier in the video. I probably should have, but you know, better late than never, I guess. The first few clutches of eggs, like the females, they might just drop the eggs because they're not used to it, but after some time, they should raise the eggs on their own. It just makes it a lot easier. Like honestly, there's certain ways to like raise the eggs without the females, but it's just like infinitely easier to raise them with just let the females do their thing. And it should be very easy. Like honestly, there isn't really anything special you need to do to breed these shrimp. Just provide ample parameters, food, and yeah, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward, easy. So I hope this video helped you guys, honestly. Like, it's just my understanding of how they breed and my whatever I see. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Yeah, so hope this helped you guys.